Welcome back to Territorial Dominion, the devotional. This is principle number 2 devotional, and principle number 2 says shared dominion is given to us by God to establish his kingdom government in the earth. Now this session will be a bit interactive in that in a couple of minutes time I'm going to give you suggested assignment or an exercise for you to participate in at a suitable time for you. So what I'm going to do in this session, I am going to look at the base scripture in light of the principle number 2. Then I'm going to take you through 4 points, and then we're going to look at a case study that connects back to those 4 points. Then I'm going to let you know what the assignment is and leave you with that assignment, and then I will elaborate further on in further sessions on the 4 points. So principle number 2 that says shared dominion is given to us by God to establish his kingdom government in the earth. The base scripture that we use for this principle is Genesis 1 verse 26 that says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So that's the base scripture. Now, for us to realize the various levels of dominion that we have been given access to, and for us to attain to territorial dominion as it relates to our personal lives, current affairs, and geographical location, there are 4 points that we need to be aware of. And those 4 points are: number 1, identify who has shared dominion with us. Number 2 is establish what is the purpose of this dominion. Number 3 is to ascertain what is placed under the jurisdiction of this dominion that is given to us. And number 4 is learn activation strategies concerning this dominion. Now, for case study reference in light of the 4 points, St. Luke 7 verse 2 to 10 gives us a narrative of a centurion who had a dilemma. He had a problem, he had some issues. Now in this narrative it says that this centurion had a servant that was at the point of ill and at the point of death, and this servant that was at the point of death was very dear to him, was very close to him. He loved him. And it says that when he heard about Jesus, he sent the elders of the Jews to Jesus to find out if Jesus to ask Jesus to come and heal his servant. Now the elders of the Jews, they went, and when they went, they were begging and they were pleading with Jesus and saying, this servant, he is deserving because he's built us a synagogue, he's done this and he's done all of that. So they were in this pleading mode, begging Jesus mode, which is contrary to the centurion himself. Then it says that Jesus, he went with them, but while he was en route, while was on the way with them, it said that the centurion sends friends to Jesus to say to him, you know what, I'm not worthy for you to come under my roof. I didn't even consider myself worthy to come to you, but speak the word only. That is in verse 7. Speak the word only and my servant will be healed. And then in verse 8, which is the core of our case study, the core case study reference, the core of it, verse 8 says, the centurion says, I am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me, and I said to this one, go, and he goes, and to one, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. So in light of those 4 points that I gave to you, we notice that the centurion recognizes that he was under authority. Now, our 4 point number 1 is identify who has shared dominion with us. Now, this servant would have identified and would have known that he was under the authority of the Roman government. The Roman government set him in his position. Now, the next thing that we notice about this centurion is that he would have known the purpose for which he was authorized. So the Roman government would never authorize you and doesn't give you a specific purpose, specific instruction, and all of that. So we knew the purpose for being authorized. And that is what we need to do. We need to establish the purpose of this dominion. The Roman soldier, he knew the purpose for which he was authorized, and he knew that one of the purpose was not to heal the servant that was healed, and that was one of the reasons why he also had to seek external help, and we'll look at that in a minute. Now, the Roman soldier, the centurion, he also knew, he recognized what was placed under his authority. He says to Jesus that I am a man placed under authority. He says, having soldiers under me, and I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes. And then he says, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. So this centurion recognizes his jurisdiction. He recognizes what was placed under the authority, and he knew that it was, number one, soldiers, and number two, servant. So he recognized what was placed under his authority. He recognizes his jurisdiction. In line with that, he also recognizes his limitation, because now here a servant was ill to the point of death. But his limitation, even though it was authorized by the government of Rome, his limitation was that he could not heal his servant. He could not directly help his servant. But he knew that indirectly, having heard about Jesus, indirectly he could assist in getting that servant help. And so that's why he uses resources such as the elders of the Jews and also his friend. He used those resources because he understands what was under his jurisdiction, and so he seek external help. Because of his limitation, he knew he couldn't help his son, so he sought external help. So when you understand your jurisdiction, you will also understand your limitations, and then that will push you to seek the relevant help. So ascertain what is placed under the jurisdiction of the dominion given to us. The next thing about this centurion, based on what he was saying to Jesus, is that he knew how to utilize his authority. So point number 4 is that we need to learn activation strategies for concerning this dominion. This centurion placed under authority, he knew his activation strategy. He knew how to utilize his authority. And the way that he utilized his authority was that he spoke. He said to Jesus, speak the word on me and my servant will be healed. He says, for I'm a man under authority. I have soldiers unto me. I say. So that's how he activates his authority. He speaks, he commands, he gives order, he permits with his words. Now, what I want you to do is, the assignment is this, that I want you to take some time and I want you to ponder the base scripture, Genesis 1 and verse 26, in line with the 4 points that I've listed and in line with the case study reference. Ponder those, ponder the base scripture, and then search and link other scriptures that help to address and expand on the 4 points mentioned. So the assignment is, take some time, take Genesis 1 and verse 26, and you're going to think on that in line with the 4 points that I've given. 4 points are: identify who has shared dominion with us, establish what is the purpose of this dominion, ascertain what is placed under the jurisdiction of this dominion given to us, and learn activation strategies concerning this dominion. So you're going to ponder Genesis 1 and verse 26, as well as link other scriptures to that. Search and link other scriptures to that and see how you can address those points for yourself, and get that light and get that clarity and all of that. So you're going to ponder Genesis 1:26 and say, who is it that shared dominion with us? What are the scriptures you link to that? Establish what is the purpose of dominion, link the other scriptures to that. Ascertain what is placed under the jurisdiction of this dominion given to you, link other scriptures to that. Learn activation strategies concerning this dominion, link other scripture that shows and pull out activation strategies. Now when you're doing that, you may find applying the types of questions we talk about, like when, where, what, how, why, and who question. You might find those helpful as you look at Genesis 1:26, as you look at the case study reference, and you look at other scriptures. You might find that useful. And what I'll do is that I'm going to follow up with sessions that elaborate on those 4 points, and then what you can do is to compare, contrast, and combine that to your research and see how that helps you to enter into your territorial dominion, how to enter into that level of territorial dominion where personal life is concerned, current affairs are concerned, geographical locations are concerned. So I will see you in the next session. Feel free as well to share your thoughts with me via charistkog@gmail.com, or you can share those via comments below on this video. You can share your points below, and also if you share your points via email and you want me to share them with those that come to visit and come to tune into this channel, just let me know, and I'll also share it in the sessions, some of the sessions that will follow. So for now, thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening. Hope you find that assignment useful, and I will see you in the next session.